It's official. Robert Downey Jr. isn't the only Marvel icon returning for Avengers Doomsday. But the question remains, who exactly will Chris Evans play when he returns to the MCU? We have some guesses. The most obvious and most likely thing to happen is that Chris Evans will return as a young and able Steve Rogers and put the Captain America costume back on. We can at least be certain Marvel is going to do all it can to bring Evans back and use him to his full potential, because they only get to do a grand return for him once. Yes, Avengers Endgame ended with Captain America going back in time to retroactively grow old with Peggy Carter. But presumably, the Avengers still have access to the reality-hopping tech they used to pull off the time heist. The setup would be pretty simple. The MCU faces a greater threat than ever before, and it needs its greatest hero back. It would also fit with Marvel's recent storytelling choices. After all, Deadpool and Wolverine did just turn Disney's buyout of 20th Century Fox into metatext about different universes colliding. After Hugh Jackman's Wolverine died in Logan, that film used a technicality to bring him back. The Logan from Logan remained dead, and Deadpool found a different Wolverine from an alternate universe that was close enough to the one we knew.
In my world, you're well regarded.
Yeah, well, not in mine.
Doomsday could probably pull a similar move with a close enough Cap variant, which would let the send-off from Endgame stand. At the end of Avengers Endgame, Falcon talks with a centenarian Cap played by Evans in digital old age makeup.
No, I don't think I will.
This is naturally a consequence of Cap taking the long way around back to the present. Old Man Cap, and Falcon as his successor, goes back to a 2014 comic storyline from writer Rick Remender, where Steve Rogers lost his super soldier serum and rapidly aged into an old man. Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't provide clarity on what happened to Steve Rogers from there, beyond him being gone. We've yet to learn if Captain America Brave New World will offer any answers either, but since Evans' return is now locked in, some last-minute reshoots for a cameo are possible. Or perhaps Doomsday will reveal where Steve Rogers has been spending his secret retirement. This could even be combined with the first suggestion, where Steve begins the film as an old man and is then restored into his younger self later in the film. If Evans is up for it, maybe Marvel will keep him around playing Captain America until he actually looks like he did in the last scenes of Endgame. When the news of Evans' return in Doomsday first broke, Slash Films' own Ryan Scott wrote that it seemed inevitable. One reason why this is true is that Evans already came back to a Marvel Studios production in Deadpool and Wolverine, just not as Captain America. Instead, Evans reprised his role from the 2000s Fantastic Four films as the Human Torch himself, Johnny Storm. The nostalgia well is so deep that now we're referencing movies that most people didn't like in the first place. Will Evans' Johnny be back again? Maybe, but this seems less likely than him just playing Cap. After all, Evans' Deadpool and Wolverine cameo was built around the fake-out for the audience who believed him to be a Captain America variant.
Oh my God, he's gonna say it!
Say what?
Avengers! Flame on! Sorry, what now?
His Johnny also met a grisly end at Cassandra Nova's hand in that movie. On top of all that, Joseph Quinn will be playing the MCU's new Johnny Storm starting in the Fantastic Four First Steps, which raises the question, did Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars need two Human Torches? Robert Downey Jr.'s return in Doomsday is built on the twist of a hero transformed into a villain. Could Marvel be pulling the same move with Chris Evans? Well, there is precedent for Captain America going bad. One of the most talked about and infamous comics of the 2010s was Captain America #1 by Nick Spencer and Jesus Saiz. In this comic, Steve reveals himself to be a villainous sleeper agent for the terrorist group Hydra. Of course, it all turned out to be the result of some reality-warping shenanigans, and the proper good Captain America was restored after the 2017 event Secret Empire. The Hydra Cap, sometimes known as Hydra Supreme, has stuck around as a villain though, having taken the name Grant Rogers. Will Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom be partnering up with Evans as Hydra Supreme? Well, it would certainly be cool to see the Hydra Cap costume in live action. Let's just hope the story is handled with more care than it was in the controversial comics. Hydra Supreme doesn't have to be the only potential Captain America variant in Avengers Doomsday. Deadpool and Wolverine featured a multiverse-hopping montage where Deadpool encountered Wolverines from various fan-favorite comic storylines. If the Avengers need all the Captain Americas they can get, they've got a whole multiverse to pull from. What about a harder-edged, more bullheaded Captain America like the one seen in the Ultimate Universe? Maybe we can even get some cameo from Cap variants previously glimpsed during What If. Versions like the zombie Captain America, or the Steve Rogers who never got the super soldier serum and instead pilots a Hydra stomper mech in support of Captain Carter. Captain Britain in the comics is a completely separate character from Captain America, tied to the complicated astral mythology of Avalon and the Otherworld. Of course, the MCU isn't shy about making changes, so one could imagine a Captain Britain as a Steve Rogers variant draped in a Union Jack with a Cockney accent. Captain America is admittedly not as flexible a character as Wolverine, but if Evans wants to have some fun with the part, this could be it. And of course, since Downey is playing a villain whose only real connection to Iron Man is a metal mask, Evans may take on some different villain. One fan theory is the Beyonder. Avengers Doomsday is scheduled for release on May 1st, 2026.